Hello and welcome to Zappychats, an exclusive podcast on talent acquisition and technology. I am Ranjit, your host for the show. Here we discuss the trends in talent acquisition, adoption of technology, various opportunities and challenges offered by artificial intelligence and machine learning. Today, I have a special speaker with me who is having more than 16 years of experience working with technology companies, products, and SaaS startups. Meena Kumari R, the Vice President and Chief People Officer at Hiver. Prior to Hiver, she was leading the global human resource function at Airmeet and organizations like 𝗧𝗲𝗯𝗶𝗀𝗃 and Capillary Technologies, etc. Her areas of expertise includes building and developing fully remote and globally distributed teams. Meena is a digital transformation champion and an expert in building winning cultures. She has a post-graduation in human resource management and executive program in HR from 𝗧𝗲𝗃𝗀𝗃𝗃𝗀𝗃𝗃𝗃. Meena was recognized in 2022 by ETHR as an emerging young leader, 𝗧𝗲𝗃𝗀𝗃𝗃𝗀𝗃. Meena is also the founder of a global HR community called HR Folks. Meena, welcome to Zappychats. Thank you for accepting our invitation as an esteemed speaker at Zappychats. This edition, we are going to discuss about technology in talent acquisition, world of opportunities. It's a great pleasure to have you on our show.
Thank you so much, Ranjit. I'm really glad, appreciate that you called me for this chats. And this podcast is also a really innovative way to share information and also bring the relevance of how recruitment is changing the landscape of hiring, right? The entire ecosystem is changing today, and it's this. I think podcasts are a great way to actually highlight those and bring it to the right audience. Really glad for this opportunity. Thank you so much, and I'll be happy to answer any of your questions.
Thank you, Meena. With your diverse experience in product and SaaS companies, my first question is here. What do you think is the value proposition technology is offering for the domain of talent acquisition?
Oh, that's a brilliant question, Ranjit. I take pride in also letting people know that wherever I join, I champion transformation. I champion digital transformation in those organizations, right? And I've seen about 3 decades of how technology is right now helping not just hiring, the entire hire to retire, life cycle of an employee, right? Back in the 2000s, it was a lot different. Everything was manual. We were asking people to come for interview very manually, ask them to come in and write forms, fill up forms when they interview. And it was. I think those practices were from the dinosaur times, right? And then we also saw quickly moving into fast hiring. And today we're looking at everything that is AI driven, bot driven, virtually enabling, right? So I've seen the transition, and I'm happy to see that right now the value proposition technology is bringing to hiring is absolutely massive. At a very global scale today, people are able to hire location agnostically. Nobody has to be in front of each other to even technically assess them or functionally assess them or behaviorally assess people. Today, I'm using at least 5 to 6 technology in my hiring process just to hire one person, right? So there is a technology that helps me screen people. There's a technology that helps me assess them at the first round. There's a technology that helps me keep them informed. There's a technology that helps me once offer is done to really engage them throughout the offer period. So the multiple touch points are available, and I see that the way the SaaS industry has moved, the way they're picking up problem statements and bringing up solutions that can match up to this is massive. And the proposition is enormous, right? Today, I'm able to make my hiring decision, send out an offer, and get somebody to join in much lesser time than anticipated. Even today, there are these globally big organizations that take 3 months to send out offers and get people on board, right? While startups like us are taking only about a week time to finish the entire process. I mean, even at a very early stage startup, right? I don't even have people to interview someone, right? I don't have capability within the organization to interview someone. I have solutions that is now plug and play where I get a technology enabled tool to now do my first level screening and interview. Gives me a percentile of how much match they are. All I have to do is culture fit and boom, my offer is sent. Right. So that's the way enablement has really expedited the process, and the value proposition is absolutely enormous.
Amazing start to the discussion. This is so within talent acquisition, you just mentioned that you're using, not just a couple of them, but at least 4 to 5 softwares and technology adoptions to hire the right person. So that takes me to the next question on what are the trends in hiring you have seen? So you have been in tech companies majorly, and you have seen some very great technology companies. So what are the most important trends, what you have seen, what you have picked up in the hiring in the recent past?
Recent past has been very eye-opening and very enlightening, right? And while I explore more, I'm able to see enablement coming from multiple angles and multiple territories. I just about last week I was speaking to a very new founder in Singapore, and they've come up with a technology that right now helps us see very visually how we can bring the entire organization's LinkedIn circles in one place. Right? LinkedIn connections in one place. So today I don't have to go to my hiring managers and say, hey, why don't you share your LinkedIn connection details? And then I'll reach out to people. I'll send out emails and wait for and then we'll send out reminders and get people to convert. Gone are those days, right? Technology is right now going multifolds, leapfrogging in towards bringing enablement in a much different form, which is absolutely enlightening, right? And such products, I think people coming up with newer thought processes, newer ways of enablement itself is massive right now. So today, very recently, I saw this tool that can also help me with a chatbot that can help me with just talking to candidates, right? Getting the right information from the candidates. Gone are days when people were applying for jobs and filling big forms like this is my right now today with the need of a link, right? With the link, people are able to populate the entire CVs into a form, and HRs and recruiters and TAs are right now looking at how AI right now enables them to look at which are the top matches, right? There are hundreds of applications. Now I don't have time to look at all applications, right? So this gives me, AI just scans through, just fingers through everything and then gives me a quick dashboard that says, hey, this person's 67% fitment to your role, right? Because that person's got the right background, right company, right experiences, the right keywords here, right? It doesn't necessarily mean that we are only relying on AI to give me the right candidate pop up. There also requires human intervention to see why somebody else did not fit into that bucket. But sans that, this is still enabling us. This is still giving us a lot more. Earlier we were constrained on time. We needed 10 recruiters to do this exact same job. Maybe today with AI, we are having very, very enabled people to do absolutely more strategic job and spend less time on transactional work, right? So this is the latest trend I'm seeing. I also saw another integrator, like an aggregator in place, who now allows me to connect with candidates, right? Connect with candidates from multiple sources. They're aggregators where they also kind of manage the entire processes, right from identifying the candidate to closure, right? And it's all AI driven, no human interaction. So this helps us really move away from a lot of manual transactional work and focus on more strategic, more consultative, more advisory roles, right? Today, my TA people are talking to their hiring managers, their tech heads, everyone saying, you know what, we've mapped people. So if you want this, a back-end person, we've mapped these 20 companies and we know that these are the 200 people that are available. We filter them down. These are the right fits for us. Now, these are your 5 people that I am presenting to you. Now you choose, right? So I think getting to that very consultative mode is absolutely necessary. Earlier, we used to spend multiple days, hours doing intakes, convincing peer managers on why we should be considering someone. Today, everything's data-backed. Being data-driven is putting us on the edge where we can expedite things, be very informative about our decision-making, and the role is really converting into an advisory role rather than just, talk to people, do the screening, schedule interviews. We've gone much beyond that. So TA is definitely much more empowered right now in the recent past with all this technology availability.
Interesting discussion. Thus is taking our discussion to the next level. In fact, you already given me a lot of sprouts for the questions. So you spoke about chatbots, conversational AI, and chatbot related technologies.
Mm-hmm.
So how can organizations leverage this conversational AI based chatbots, and I'm more looking at the automation aspect of the hiring in order to revolutionize the customer experience?
Well, that's a brilliant question, Ranjit. I am very much pro chatbot because I myself come from a SaaS background with multiple companies, especially Hiver itself is right now going big on chatbots, right, for their help desk. I'm also seeing the same being applied to talent acquisition and hiring, right, at a very massive scale. The scale is right now very, very global. For me, if I have to hire in 10 countries, I have hundreds of roles open. I don't have time to right now ask questions manually and screen manually, right? Chatbots come and ease that entire process to, in a matter of minutes. The chatbots are able to connect to people, ask the right kind of questions, right? I'm seeing AI chatbots being used in multiple phases, right? From the time that I identify a candidate, right? Ask for an application, and then you screen the candidate. If the person selected, you notify them about what's next. If they rejected, you notify about them that we are sorry about not being able to move forward. So, and particularly in screening, right? Today, if I have to send out a case study, if I have to understand, what kind of backgrounds they would like to work on, what kind of aspirations they have. These are all screening questions I would have picked a call and spoken to, right? Right now, I'm able to do that with a chatbot. Right, and multiple technology tools are coming up in place that are absolutely helping us with this. Right, all of this helps us also identify the right candidate. This also gives us that who are aspirational, right? Who really are willing to or have the faith in your company to really pick up this job and join you. Otherwise, today I think without all of this, even human interaction screening is not giving us the right amount of visibility to whether that person's committed to join. Right? Everybody is having this huge issue of offer dropouts. I'm running behind the same cohort of people that everybody wants to hire. That obviously means that person has 5 to 6 offers in hand, right? I also want to make an offer and try to attract that person, but I really don't know whether he's willing to take my job. Everybody has commitment phobia. Even when I pick up the phones and talk to them saying, hey, are you really going to join us? They say, no, Meena, I'm evaluating. It's absolutely a fair point. You can't really deny that if you're looking at 10 candidates, the candidate is also looking at 10 companies. So unless and until the person's absolutely sure of where to join, we don't know. But at least AI is able to pick up saying, hey, you know what, there is willingness, there is aspiration, there is a lot of these bandwidth match, there's a lot of these, ambition matching. So if we are able to get highlights on those data points, on those parameters, it makes our decisions a little bit more informed, a little bit more convincing. And when we go back to the hiring manager saying, hey, you know what, there is a possibility 80% this person will join, they're also happy with knowing those data points. Otherwise, we don't have those data points. Nobody is able to read minds, right?
Very valid question. The points what you've proposed. In fact, you rightly mentioned today there are a lot of memes which are running around in the social media saying that all the recruiters are running behind the same candidates and they go round robin. Everyone is offering them and the candidate is like bargaining with the next recruiter based on the offer.
I've also seen this trend where a lot of these companies gun for large organizations like an Amazon, Microsoft, Google, and they use all the startups as their batting field, right? Like a net batting. Chalo, we'll give the interviews here, there, everywhere. And if you get selected, I know I have that capability to now appear for interviews in bigger organizations. So sorry to say that's happening, but yeah, I think with the help of technology, I think we're able to mitigate that risk to a certain level.
Yeah, that goes with the requirement of recruiters being more agile and more active in ensuring that the candidates have the intention to join and aspiration to stay with the company. So here it connects with the branding, the candidate experience, and the employer branding. So how can technology assist organizations to reimagine this candidate experience and boost the employer branding so that there are lesser offer dropouts and say more conversions?
I think that's such an important question, right? If we might do hundreds of things, spend effort, time, money on everything that we do on the hiring front, but if the person doesn't join, it's such a waste of that entire effort, right? How we mitigate is the biggest question everybody's trying to solve. There is no one answer to it, but what we found is really helping to a certain extent, because there's nothing 100% foolproof, right? Today, I mean, I think early last year, I have only written so many LinkedIn articles around how the offer journey dropout, percentage has come down from 70, 80% to 50%. And today we're sitting at 30, 40%. Nobody can deny it, that's the fact, right? While we see 30%, 40% turnaround, how do we actually make it better is a bigger question that everybody has. Everybody wants to mitigate that. No right, wrong answer, but some things that work for us is use a certain technology in a way that we push out a lot of notifications to employees the moment they are very keen to take our offer, right? So there is a lot of push emails that goes about the company's newsletters, the company's immediate, events and posts that are out there on the LinkedIn and Twitter. We also pull out blogs and articles about thought leadership from the organization that gets pushed out to them. We also ask about referrals in terms of, hey, these are the job openings we have a referral. So we send out a lot of push emails to people, very intended, very targeted emails. So they are engaged at all point in time, and they get to know a little bit more about the organization every time they get an email from us. Right. And we're also trying to see if people can enable WhatsApp and other mediums, because that is also becoming very, very quite valid these days. A lot of e-commerce you've seen have moved to WhatsApp, right? They know people are not checking emails and SMS these days. So anything that is more trendy, I would even love for people to have Instagram messages, right? So yeah. So if suddenly there's an Instagram message, people want to get up and see what it is. But if there is an email, SMS, nobody even scrolls through it. I have like 2,000 SMSs sitting on my phone, but I never go and see it, right? Unless it's an OTP. So looking at newer technology that can push a lot of information around about the organization to people. Keep them always engaged about what's new that's happening in the organization. Blur that passion that, you will get to work with all of this. Right, newer technologies that we are working, the new innovation that we're bringing in, people that they look up, right? If there are good newsletters, there are good videos that we are shooting out, there are good adverts that we are, campaigns that we are pushing out. Those are all examples of how well we are doing in the company, how well we are basically trying to attract customers. It's also equally important that we push it to potential candidates. They also will know, okay, these are all things that's happening in the org, and I want to be a central part of all of this, right? I think that triggering all of that, today I'm using a couple of technology. There is also manual effort going in that, but something that can really ease out this entire process is also something that I'm looking at. But these are going to be very, very helpful. These are touch points that are absolutely helpful. Of course, there are touch points where we schedule meetings with our higher ups, schedule meeting with other stakeholders, keep them absolutely engaged. During the offer stage, after the offer stage, pre-joining and all of that. So I'm really looking at more technology that can help me in all of these problem statements.
Amazing thoughts. So you spoke about engaging people even prior to their joining with small nudges and newsletters and the push notifications, which will help candidates aspire to be a part of this organization on a long-term basis. So good questions. I mean, good thought points what you've proposed. You, in the previous question, you also mentioned about the data-driven hiring. So I would just like to ponder through those areas wherein how could organizations ensure that they have a better talent strategy with the help of this data-driven recruitment and possibly say some predictive analysis in candidate profiling and all. So could you give some of your perspectives there?
Thanks, Ranjit. I think data is everything right now, right? Earlier, we lacked data, and that's exactly why all of our decisions were not so informed as such. Today, people are very curious. Today, every hiring manager wants to know a lot more before even making an offer, right? Let me give you snippets of how data is helping us at every point, every touch point of a hiring process, right? In the hiring lifecycle itself, right from, from the time that we open a requirement, right? People are interested to know what kind of time to hire do we have, what kind of talent mapping is there, what kind of demographics are we looking at, who are available in our network, who will fit this requirement from a demographics perspective, from a fitment perspective, from a technology perspective, right? So they want to know a lot of information pre-hand, right? And some of the data that we use today is understanding the talent demographics. So talent demographics today is nothing but knowing that if I am location agnostic, where are my candidates today sitting, right? So if I pull out India as my demographics or globally as my demographics, and I have to hire for somebody who's a front end or a back end, or even just a marketing person, right? Right now I'm looking at availability of candidates in different parts of the globe, and also looking at what kind of quality of talent is available, right? So that is right now giving me the visibility of talent availability, visibility of where I should really be hiring. And if there is bigger availability, larger availability in a certain geography, I think we should now give informed decision to the hiring managers that, why don't you hire in this location, sans hiring within India or within Bangalore. So we've gone much beyond being location agnostic right now. So once we understand which demographics to actually go chase, right, where we are likely to get the right kind of talent availability right now, and then we move on to what kind of backgrounds, what kind of education, what kind of experiences we're looking at, right? And then we go a little deeper into which are the players that are going to be really good, suitable for us for the role that we are right now opening, right? So we move from not just understanding where the candidates are available, how to really maneuver from location to location, just not knowing, not being very blind about, okay, let's just pick this one location and start hiring. We won't even know that we have that talent available there. So talent availability demographics is a great way to understand where you have to go and look for the talent, and then move on from who is available, which network is available, which kind of organizations fit your profile a lot more, and how do we attract them, right? What is the right kind of pay strategy to attract them? What is the kind of compensation statutorily benefits that is required for that location? So all of that are right now becoming very, tool driven. Everything today I'm able to, in a click of a button, able to understand if I have to hire somebody in San Francisco, how much salary should I be given, right? And what kind of ESOPs I should be given. So those are the information that is today readily available with technology, and those are also helping us give a very holistic view of how I can predict my cost, how I can predict my time to hire, how I can predict what kind of or where I should tweak my requisition in a way that I'll be able to fill the position and bring the right kind of candidate into the role. Many times. Hiring managers also lack the visibility. Many times they want people with multiple skill set, and they bundle roles in a way that nobody understands, and maybe they're not even available in the market. We might want to give them the reality check of, these are the people if you want. And if you want this kind of technology, you only have people having, say, 4 to 5 years of experience. Just an example of, I think 2 months ago when we were working on a demand gen position, right? Everybody wants a demand gen within India, but this demand gen is a role that is a cusp between digital marketing and brand marketing, right? And you don't have people within India who's got 10 years of experience. It's just emerging, right? People have worked on this role in the US, not within India. So when you have data that can back you up with all of this information, you can go back to your hiring manager and say, look, I think we're looking at the wrong demographics. We're looking at the wrong place to hire for this, right? Move your roles, mobilize your roles in a way that you'll be able to hire for the right talent, right? So I think these are the ways we are able to look at data, right from convincing what talent we want, right from looking at which place we want, right from looking at which pool that we want to look at, what kind of comp we want to give, how can we engage them, and how can we bring them on board and really convert them. So all of this is pretty much data driven. So today I'm able to give my hiring team at a very, very top level data like predicted time to hire, predicted cost to hire, predicted vendor cost, predicted demographics in which we can hire this person, predicted performance levels of people at those demographics. And yeah, so on and so forth are pretty much data driven. And if they decline as well, we have data to back it up. Like what are the parameters why they decline? What is that they don't find in this organization to really be interested to join? What is that we need to do better within the organization to ensure that we are ready to attract talent from across the globe?
Yeah, you rightly mentioned about even success profile of candidates also could be mapped with the help of data. And even the kind of people who would join you and the kind of people who would not join you, with which you could even advise or guide the hiring managers to understand and identify, okay, these are the potential candidates whom we should look at as potential employees. So great thoughts.
I think we've gone to a level where right now designing a persona of candidate that suits us, right? I keep telling this to many people that right now TA has to think like product managers, right? You have to design your ICP and then say, this is my ICP1, this is my ICP2, this is my ICP3, available in these kind of demographics. Now you pick whom you want, right? It's elevating a TA advisory role to a level where you're totally managing the entire architecture of it.
Absolutely. I mean, brilliant thoughts. These are shaping. In fact, these thoughts are picking up in the talent acquisition domain, and say rather than the hiring team, the hiring managers coming and advising us, say I would need such kind of a person. Even you are taking a partner role in advising that, okay, this may not be the right. Why don't you look at this couple of opportunities or options available? So right level of strategic talent acquisition, I would say. Thank you for those thoughts. I remember you mentioning about 4 to 5 technologies you use in your current company. Say this could be, I'm just speculating that this could be some for sourcing, some for passing, some for the logistics part, some for the interviewing and all those things. Would you want to break this up into smaller activities, or would you want to take one say software which would be able to support you in all those domains?
The question is easy, Ranjit. Answer is difficult. Why I would say is, see, if I need everything in one place, maybe I should gun for bringing in tools like a Workday or something that is absolutely enterprise, absolutely high priced. For a company like ours, which is 200 plus in headcount, I won't even be able to afford them, right? So for me, it really helps to bring in smaller tools that can really solve my problem statement at the core of it, and not necessarily add to my expense load, right? My expense load is also very important. Today, if I sit and spend too heavily on everything that I'm doing, I don't know, as a startup, I'll be able to fare really well as I grow, right? I have to also focus on bringing in, accelerating the business to bring in more revenue and not necessarily accelerate on spending. So that's the crux at which everybody works right now. And everybody is in a dilemma of what tools to bring in, right? Today, I'll tell you what tools I have. I have an ATS. That's an AI-driven ATS that gives me, that is able to really filter through, sieve through all the applications and tell me these are the right fits for your organization, for the role that you have advertised. It also picks up, CVs from multiple sources, not just from LinkedIn, but multiple sources across the globe, multiple job boards across the globe. Even gives me access to work with consultants. It gives me access to bring in a lot of referrals. And it also has the ability to close loop on every cycle, right? Then I bring in an assessment tool. I bring in an assessment tool for campus and junior level candidates, maybe it's a coding assessment tool. Then I also look at another evaluation partner which is also manual plus AI, but they provide us details on how the person fits our the role from a technical aspect, right? So they do the entire technical evaluation and provide us a match on, okay, this person's 95% fit, you can hire, right? After that, we have a tool that helps us maintain internal sanctity of mails that we get from hundreds of places, right? Maybe we have ATS, maybe we have whatever, but we have hundreds of emails flowing in and out. But we need tools that can manage it. So we use Hiver itself as a tool that can manage the entire process of managing recruitment emails, referral emails, everything that flows into us is in one place, and we're able to assign to people and very, very meticulously handle that. Fourth one is onboarding and post-offer, right? Yeah. So we don't have a tool as of right now, but we still use Hiver to push out a lot of these mailers and all of that. But I would ideally love to have an AI-based tool, or even maybe build Hiver into, add more features and functionalities that can help me do this, where I'll be able to send newsletters, mailers, videos to employees, and then also trigger not just the knowledge base as such, but also trigger sending out some gifts and welcome notes and mailers, and also aid in the onboarding as such, right? But the moment people come in, we know that they have been scheduled with all of these people that they have to meet on day 1, week 1, month 1. So these are all 4-5 technology that we're currently using from a hiring perspective. Of course, we have other tools that follows, right? We have PMSs, we have HRISs, we have people analytics tool. Those are all post people tools that we use post hire. At least until hire, I'm at least using 4 tools right now.
Pretty impressive. I mean, you have been looking at various possibilities and opportunities within even you're looking at your own software Hiver and using that technology to pitch in how the candidates can be connected with and engaged. So you mentioned a lot of positives about organizations adopting technology and the advantages of it. What are the possible derailers faced by organizations while implementing a technology in talent acquisition? I'd like to get your views on this.
Totally, Ranjit. There are a lot of derailers too, but we can't really give a blind eye to it. We might have to highlight it and see how well we'll be able to mitigate those risks, right? For example, when we bring an ATS in place, it many times happens that we are buying an ATS, billing for the 200 people that are there in the company, but apparently there's only those 5 TA people who are day in and day out using it, right? We want more engagement, and engagement has always been going to be a concern. Even if I use referral within an ATS, people are feeling comfortable to just drop an email, right? Or maybe come on Slack and say, hey, Meena, this is my referral. Now, how do we manage? How do we mitigate all of that? Maybe we're still small, we're able to manage, but just imagine larger organizations. If there are 2,000 employees, 5,000 employees, I don't think the talent acquisition team will have so much of bandwidth to sit and respond to each one of them on a Slack, on an email, on a wherever they are sending out referrals, right? So it's important that we drive adaptation. It's important that everybody adapts to it and knows where to go do certain things on the tool. So it's very easier for people to track it. Otherwise, tracking is a problem, responding is a problem, closing the loop is a bigger problem. So those are the bigger derailers we're seeing. And then a smaller organization also face another big delay where we don't have budgets only to buy anything, right? We are proposing a lot, but we just don't have budgets to really keep aside to bring in things that are going to ease our job. Today, I might have an ATS, but I want something that is more AI driven, that is more enabling, more reducing my transaction. But I might be stuck with very mediocre ATS that's just doing its job. But most organizations may want to splurge on their marketing. Most organizations may want to splurge on their sales team. A one-way ticket for a salesperson will cost as much as a tool that I want to buy, right? So yeah, these are all things that are not enabling a TA person to the maximum that they want. But I also appreciate organizations that have gone the extra mile to bring in the right kind of enablement, right kind of empowerment, right kind of tools that digitally transform the organization, right? Today, everybody boasts about being absolutely paperless. Absolutely. So I don't even want paper for me is still, even a form is a paper, right? We don't want to have those forms. It has to be very, very digitally driven. If the form is sitting somewhere, I can't even use the data to bridge the gap between what I know and what I want to enable for the employee after he joins. It is still a piece of effort that has gone waste, right? If it's all in one place, it's going to be much better for even later references. Pick those information for knowing, how the entire life cycle of the employee is going to look like, right? Say, for example, even like as simple information as an address of an employee, right? If it's not there in one place, if it's there on a form, I'm not going to go and refer back to it. If I have to send a welcome email, then I have to go to multiple places to look for it. So I'd say invest in the right kind of tools, and then bring in that empowerment for the team, right? Don't worry about the money. Create the ROI. If you don't create the ROI, nobody's going to get convinced. Create the ROI and what is it going to impact? How much of your team strength or team's transaction load is going to reduce? And how much you'll be able to objectively manage other things rather than transactionally managing stuff, right? The more transaction you have, you're spending multiple man hours doing it. If you're strategically handling stuff, you just need a very, very sharp, highly focused team to do your entire job or everything that you have in hand. You don't have to hire mindlessly. You don't need a 10-member, 20-member TA team. With a very, very small team, you'll be able to do much, much better, more impactful job with the help of the right tools.
Valuable thoughts. Again, you spoke about say lean team, strategically focused. Ensuring that the right ROI is received from each investment. So as an advocate of skilling and reskilling, I always ask leaders this question. This is my favorite question. As a leader, what do you think are the key skills which are required for a talent acquisition executive today, and what are the key skills they should pick up on the go?
I think, like I said, TA has to think like product managers, but they have to function like sales, right? They need to have exceptionally good communication skills and selling skills. They have to understand the tiniest nuance of your organization to be able to bring it out, highlight it in a way that you totally give a moonshot, visibility to candidates who want to join you. They need to look at, okay, I can actually see myself flourish in this organization and elevate my career from here to X to Y in a span of so many years, right? If you don't give that vision to people, then you have done nothing while you're speaking to the candidate or screening that candidate, or you are not basically convincing the person to take up the job, right? You have to behave like a salesperson, but don't sell fake dreams, right? Sell them the right dreams, tell them the right stuff, more realistic stuff about the organization. Be absolutely blunt. It's fine. You can give them blunt information about, hey, this is what it is. You choose to join or not is up to you, right? Sell them on culture, sell them on the technology that they're working on, sell them the dream of how they can come and really create an impact. Sell them the dream of how they can see the reflection of their job into the business, success. And maybe even sell from a point that, look, we're today here X, but as we grow, if we have that step on the axle as fast as possible, we'll be able to grow to Y in a span of so many years. So that moonshot is absolutely important, and having that sales mentality is super important. So that is one, communication and sales mentality. And second is being an advisor rather than a very transactional TA, right? Being an advisor who understands the architecture of the organization, puts himself or herself at a position that, they say that even if you open a requisition, say a manager comes and say, I want this role. This is unplanned for, but I want to open this. They should have the tenacity to question back. What is the KPI? What is the objective? Why are we hiring this? Why is somebody within the organization not able to fulfill this? Don't we have enough talent to work on all of this? And what is the reason? Give me the reasoning to hire this person, right? Not blindly take up roles and go hire. You don't even know. If you're not adding that value, tomorrow you will find yourself at a stage you've hired thousands of engineers and you don't need 50% of them. You see what the FANGs of the world are doing today, right? Business is not coping up. The only place they're able to cut cost is fire people, right? That we don't want to be at that place. We want to be absolutely mindful of why we hired, where they're creating an impact, and what is the value of this entire role, right? Do the evaluation as stringently as possible and be that advisor. And understand the architecture of the organization, understand the where this requisition stems from, question back, absolutely fine. Nobody's going to find you rude. It's you just giving food for thought for everybody to be in the same line of why we hire someone. And then when you're absolutely convinced why we're hiring someone, and then go and find for the right candidate. Do not hurry up into hiring candidate just because you want to close the role, right? You have to bring the right blood in the organization, right? We want energetic DNA in the company. So just for the sake of, oh, I'm being pressurized and I need to bring in people, do not push people into the organization just to close numbers. You are hiring human beings, right? Be absolutely on top of things on you're hiring the right person for the job. It's you're conscious that you're looking for people who will fit your culture really well. Even if they are absolutely high skilled, and if you feel that they have been, they have problems in attitude, they're just brilliant jerks in the way that they are portraying themselves, flag it out and tell people that he or she is not the right fit, right? So look for fitment, be that advisor in all sense. Yeah, these are the two massive skill set that I look for any TA, right? I wouldn't really give a lot of focus on negotiation. In gone are days that you will ask for 5 lakhs, I'll give 4 lakhs, I'll start negotiating. Negotiating is no more a skill, right? It's just another derailer, because you suddenly look like you're in a market where you want to buy the cheap stuff, giving the less money. Talent market is no more that, right? Talent market is find the right fit, give them enough money that they're absolutely happy and stay with us. Look at stickiness there rather than saving a few bucks.
Again, valuable nuggets of information. Focus on your communication and become the strategic advisor to the business. Build value, and rather than focusing on the numbers. And of course, be agile on technology and learn technology as fast as possible. So brilliant thoughts. I mean, this discussion is definitely creating a lot of positive vibes and ensuring that a lot of talent acquisition experts out in the field would think in the right direction. Thank you so much, Meena. I could not have asked more within this short time. In fact, I have a lot of questions, but time limitation is there. And my special thanks to you for appearing in this Zappychats podcast. Thank you for taking your valuable time and sharing some of these wisdom words with us. So thank you so much once again.
Really glad, Ranjit. Thanks for this opportunity. I hope people find this very informative and insightful. Thanks for the opportunity. Thank you.
Cheers. So that was Meena Kumari R with us, Vice President and Chief People Officer of Hiver, a people leader and an HR expert who focus on culture and becoming the strategic champion. So see you in another episode of Zappychats. Wishing you all the best. Bye-bye.